little groggy, so you drop your peanut butter sandwich and clear out the drawers because you're excited now. And you pick up your emergency action message book. Looks like this, and you open it up. There's 35 alphanumeric characters in that message. So the commander and deputy commander start copying down those 35 alphanumeric characters. It says the message ends, will repeat. And in that brief interval, we swap books. I take your book, you take my book, the message repeats, and what we're doing is checking each other's work. Once the message ends, we get together, look at our books. If they're exactly the same, that means we heard exactly the same message, so we know we have a valid emergency action message. What does that mean we can do? That allows us to go over here and get this red safe. It's called an Emergency War Order Safe or EWO safe, and the crew just says it's the go to war safe. There's two locks on there. The one on the left belongs to the commander, one on the right the deputy commander. We don't know each other's combinations, so it takes a cooperation of two of us to get in that safe. Get the safe, get out everything we need to launch this missile, put it on the console, start going through it. Now the message is in three parts. There's an authenticator part, there's a missile launch time part, and there's a butterfly valve code. We need those three things out of the message. First thing we have to do is authenticate that message. So the first two characters of that message, we find those. In this case, we'll call it 6 Lima. There's a bunch of these envelopes in there. We go through all those envelopes till we find 6 Lima, the first two characters. We're looking for a cookie. Nobody decided we're not going to feed you or anything like that. But it's a little disc in there. So we get the disc out, and it says 6 Lima in there. If the next 5 characters match the next 5 characters of that message, that means you have an authenticated authorization to release your nuclear weapon. Where did that come from? Because the only person in the United States authorized to release nuclear weapons. The president, right. You see him on a trip, he's walking around, behind him is a military officer with a briefcase that's called a football. The president wants to release nuclear weapons. He gets the codes out of that briefcase, send them to the Pentagon. Our case for the Air Force, it goes to Strategic Air Command Headquarters, Omaha, Nebraska. It is a backup 15th Air Force Headquarters, Riverside, California. It broadcasts over these 4 speakers. This is the headquarters in Omaha, 15th Air Force Headquarters. Identical speakers over here broadcasting the same thing at full volume. Cannot turn it down. This is the Air Force first surround sound stereo system. So, we know we have a valid message. It's authenticated. The next thing we have to do is figure out what time to launch this missile. Embedded in those codes right there is a launch reference time. The commander, deputy commander get together, figure that out, right across the face of the clock so everybody down here knows what time to launch this missile. And the last thing we have to have is the butterfly valve code. This is a modification of the missile after it first came out. Didn't have one of these. But later on, the Air Force figures, you know, we're a retaliatory system. We're never going to launch first. We don't want anybody just fooling around and just launching for the fun of it or pushing buttons just because you're bored or anything like that. So this is a fail-safe system for it. They put it on the butterfly valves on 4 fuel lines. There's 2 oxidizer lines, 2 fuel lines. They all have a butterfly valve like this. One of the oxidizer lines has a little electronic lockbox on it that will lock this to prevent it from opening. If all 4 valves don't open, the missile does not launch. So you need the code to unlock this little electronic lockbox. And the only place you get that code is in this message, not anywhere else. So it's very important when you get that out, you read it to the BMAT. BMAT puts these thumb wheels, you push the button, you get a green light, you know you have a good code. That's not too bad. It's 6 thumb wheels, 6 possible guesses on that. You're down there 24 hours a day, every 3rd day. Had a case of beer, maybe you guess the right code or something. Well, before you answer that, let me tell you that each thumb wheel has 16 characters on it. So it's not 6 combinations, it's 16 to the 6th power. Majors know that. How many is that?
My math isn't very good.
Not too good?
It's a lot.
It's a lot, though, right? Yeah, it is a lot. 16,777,216 possible combinations. Only one will work, and the only place you get it's in that message. We had somebody in that same chair that a few years ago, and he says, it's about 16.5 million. Right off the top of his head.
Wow.
You know who it was? Bill Gates.
Oh, really?
Now you know the one who owns Microsoft, and I'm down here working for salary high. Is that right there in that chair? Okay, so pretty good odds, all right? 16.5 million, 16.5 million. Air Force still not happy with that. It has a tries counter on it. You only get 7 tries to get the right code in there. 7th try, too bad. This thing locks up. The missile's off alert until somebody can reprogram it, and you're out of a job. You're writing your resume because you're not going to be a missileer anymore. So, okay, we got everything down there. What's the last thing we have to have to launch this thing?
Key.
The keys, there you go. They're normally kept in safe. Get them out of there, rip open the package. Here's the commander's key right here. Where's my key? Right here? No,
Right
over
here.
here. Why is it over here? Right here?
You have to do it together.
That's right. One person can't reach both keys.
Uh-huh.
In addition to this, they're spring-loaded to the opposition, just like in your car. So I can't turn this, run over, turn that. As soon as I let go, it'll turn off. Now, here's the foot stomper part, Janet. Pay attention to this one. You're the commander. You're going to give me a 3, 2, 1 launch. When you say launch, we have to turn the keys to the right, within 2 seconds of each other, and hold them for 5 seconds.
All right.
You got that?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay, here we go. And the hard part, you got to use your left hand. Crews were trained to use their left hand because you need to see that very first light to the right of the key come on to make sure you got a valid launch.
Okay.
So give me the words, and here we go.
3, 2, 1, launch.
To the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, release. Take your hand off the key. Something I forgot to tell you. You cannot stop this launch. You turn that key, you cannot do anything to stop the launch. It's like pulling the trigger on a rifle. You pull the trigger, bullet's gone. You turn this key, missile's going to go. Went from launch ready to launch enable. You have the right code in there. You got batteries activated light. There's 2 28-volt DC batteries on that missile being fed electrolyte from the very first time. 28 seconds later, you get an APS power light. Missile's now on internal power. Down on level 9 below, the rocket motor is being flooded with 100,000 gallons of water at that time. And something very important has to occur right now. What do you think that is? There you go. 760-ton door trips tipsy beams. You got a silo soft. Missiles expose the elements. Guidance go. The missile knows where it is, knows where it wants to go. All 4 butterfly valves open. You got fuel and oxidizers coming together in hypergolic reaction. And you know what that means?
Launch.
There you go. Wow. Cool. This is on its way. 58 seconds from turning that key, that missile's on its way. You do not want to be anywhere near target 2. 30 to 35 minutes from now, it's going to be totally destroyed. So, you did everything in accordance to that checklist up to now, and you're still not done. Got to close the silo doors so you're not soft anymore, exposed to the elements. Put out those fires. And the last thing on that checklist says, await further orders. Well, shoot, you're in the middle of World War III, a nuclear war. You hope somebody's around to give you further orders. Just in case they don't, the Air Force is pretty kind to you. They gave